Hey guys, 8-Ball NFL here, and today I'll be explaining to you guys like the power rankings in general. So the way I did it is based off of scores. I got the scores through the offense and the defense equally, and then I added X factor points just to like make sure the rankings make sense. And that's how I got like the list. I just basically ordered them based off the scores. And if you guys are curious what my full list is, you guys can watch my first video on the power rankings. It goes through like all 32 teams and where they're ranked, and whether they're Superbowl contenders or whether they're ready for the playoffs, and whatever it is. And just a disclaimer again, like I probably won't be changing these power rankings for a while till the beginning of the season. Obviously, as like the games go on, we'll be seeing more game footage, and then the rankings will shift. So the Broncos won't be number 5 if they do bad. If they do well, they'll stay at number 5. That's just an example. So overall, like I might be changing the power rankings as like trades go on or as teams add like players that are noteworthy. But for now, the power rankings are where they are right now. I'll be dropping a record prediction videos too coming soon. I'm excited to do that, but I have to go through all the teams and make sure that they're like predicted properly. And also, just like housekeeping, like please like the video if you guys enjoy it. Like I appreciate all of you guys' likes, and please subscribe to the channel if you guys want more NFL content. And trust me, I'll be coming out with a lot of videos, so you guys be prepared for more videos from 8-Ball NFL. And that's all I got to say for now. So now I'll be talking about like the Super Bowl contenders, and these are 6 teams that I would bet personally on making the Super Bowl. And the way that I chose these teams is obviously based off the highest score, and I really believe that these teams have the roster to win a Super Bowl, and that's why I kept them in this list. And I'll just go down the list. So the Ravens are number 1. This is pretty obvious in my opinion. Like their defense overall is like really good, and then their offense, their run offense is the best in the league. Like even with like, I wouldn't say they're average running backs, but they're not like elite running backs. They have Mark Ingram, and then they also drafted J.K. Dobbins. Even with those running backs, I still think they can get a lot of rushing yards, and you got to factor in Lamar Jackson as a rusher. I think their running offense will be the best in the league, and Lamar Jackson, just off like read options and all these like random trickery plays that they run, I think Lamar Jackson can be pretty productive in the pass offense. I don't think he's going to be like, Mahomes level or anything in the passing offense, but he'll still be like above average. Pass rush and run defense, I mean, they got really good defensive linemen. They also traded for Campbell, so Campbell is like a very good interior pass rusher, and that like automatically elevates the score. And then you also got like periphery offense along with Campbell, and overall like this entire like front 7 is very solid, just in like all facets. Like they even got Patrick Queen in the draft, and I feel like he's the most pro-ready linebacker. He's very good in coverage. And then speaking of coverage, I feel like their coverage is like one of the best in the league. So they got a phenomenal secondary with Earl Thomas, with Marlon Humphreys, with Marcus Peters, who can generate turnovers, and they also got Patrick Queen as their linebacker. He's very good at coverage, and he is for sure like the most pro-ready like coverage linebacker in this draft class. So I'm very confident. And the only reason why I didn't add an X factor is because I felt like if I added an X factor, it would like make the Ravens too overpowered, and I don't see them being like leagues above all the other teams in the NFL. But I definitely think they're really good, and they should be number 1 in the league for sure. Number 2, the Chiefs. So I like their running back that they picked in the draft, but also I don't think he's gonna just come in there and like get like 1,500 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll be solid in rotation, but he's not gonna be like, he'll probably make like an Alvin Kamara like impact, but he's not gonna be like transcending the running offense in any shape or manner. And pass offense, I shouldn't even explain to you guys this. Like, I mean, they just have so many weapons around the team. It's ridiculous. I think they're easily the best in this category. Pass rush, the only reason why I put them so high in pass rush is because their interior pass rush is like the best in the league, with guys like Frank Clark and Chris Jones. And definitely like interior pass rush is super underrated. And the fact that they're elite in interior pass rush, it's gonna make quarterbacks like, it'll make it harder for them to see the field overall, and that to me is like very valuable when it comes to pass rush. And then when you look at their run defense, it's pretty solid. Like they don't have any like linebackers or like guys who can just like command the box and like get the tackles and like get tackles for losses or anything, but they do have like a really good defensive line with Frank Clark and with Chris Jones that I think it'll make more than enough impact on a run defense. And then coverage, their secondary is like average. I think their best player by far is Tyrann Mathieu, and for sure, like he's the only reason why I kept it at 5 out of 6. I don't think the Chiefs necessarily have like a horrible coverage unit. I just don't think it's like too elite or anything. They're like middle of the road for me, and that's why I kept them 5 out of 10. And the X factor, like I put Mahomes as an X factor. It really should be Andy Reid also in this. The reason why I chose Mahomes as an X factor is because the pass offense is like really good. It gives the defense more time to rest, so they can like be really fresh while they play, and then it also opens up the run offense. So I feel like Mahomes definitely deserves to be an X factor. That adds like 3 points. And they're the second best team in the league. Like, I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year, but I don't think talent-wise they're like as stacked as the Ravens, so that's why they're number 2. Number 3, the Saints. I feel like they're very good overall. The only thing that's holding them back is like the back end of their defense, so like the linebacking group and the coverage unit. But overall, like I really like all the impact players that they have like all over the roster. They have guys like Cam Jordan, they have Marcus Davenport, and those two are like deadly as pass rushers. They also got like a really underrated defensive line, and I think they can eat up some blocks so that Cam Jordan and the other dude can like pass rush and do their thing. Their pass offense will be good in the regular season. I think they'll be explosive, especially in the Superdome. Like it doesn't matter how much Drew Brees has lost his arm talent. I think the fact that they have so many weapons around Drew Brees, and the fact that they got like guys like Michael Thomas, who's like elite in the slot and also like intermediate game, I think that's more than enough for the Saints to have like an elite pass offense. And you look at their run offense, I mean, they got like a tremendous offensive line that'll create holes for their running backs. They also got Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray, so I like that duo quite a lot. I think they're one of the best duos in the league, so that's why I kept them 9 out of 10 in like run offense. And overall, if it wasn't for their like back end of the defense, I would say this is one of the best teams in the league. But obviously, like their defense isn't like up to standard with like the Ravens defense, and they don't necessarily have that X factor at this point. I like Drew Brees, and I like Sean. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but I like the coach of the Saints a lot. But I don't think they're like gonna elevate the defense or anything. I think if anything, they contribute really well to pass offense, and I rated that quite high. So that's why I don't have any X factors for the Saints. And again, overall, solid roster, very good players. They're 3rd in the league. Number 4, the 49ers. And this is a team that I would like to rate higher, only because I really like Kyle Shanahan. I really like the coaching staff that the 49ers have, but I feel like the rankings I gave like kind of do its justice. Like the fact that they're like 9 out of 10 in run offense with pretty average like running backs, I think that's really solid. That kind of speaks volumes to how good Kyle Shanahan is in the run offense. And pass offense, like Jimmy G, I really like him as a quarterback, but he's to me like average talent-wise. And the fact that he has like a lightning quick release, like that's probably his best trait. And the fact that Kyle Shanahan can like scheme open receivers very quickly, like the receivers are basically like very good at route running and getting separation. Then you factor in Jimmy G's release, and he basically got like a very solid combination on offense, passing wise. So that's kind of the reason why I kept them at number 7. I was really tempted to like lower the grade to number 5 out of 10, but I think 7 makes sense to me. And pass rush, like I don't think I have to explain this too much. Nick Bosa is a game changer. Then they also got all these guys on the defensive line who can just like come at you like waves. Run defense, I really like the linebacking core that the 49ers have, especially Fred Warner. He's a side-to-side linebacker. Like he can cover the entire field basically. He's a very good linebacker. And again, their defensive line is very solid. Like it's stocked with first-round talent, and they just come at you at waves. Basically, is the best way to describe it. Their coverage unit isn't that good. Like I like Richard Sherman, but he's not going to be manning up against the best, the best wide receivers in the league. So that's the reason why I'm a little bit lower on their coverage unit. And they don't necessarily have anyone else in the coverage unit that like knocks your socks off or anything. So again, like overall, like if it wasn't for the coverage unit, they would probably be ranked higher. But other than that, like 49ers are number 4 in the league for a reason. They made the Super Bowl last year. They're going to run the ball down your throats. They're a very dangerous team, and they come at you at waves, at pass rush. They're a very good team. Number 5, the Broncos. This seems to be the most controversial pick that I made, but I'm not going to take up too much time because in the other video that I made, the list of like all 32 teams and their rankings. If you look at the comment section, I defended the Broncos a lot, but I'm just gonna like reiterate what I said in that comment section. So running offense, they got Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay, who are both 1,000-yard rushers in this league. I think the tandem is really good. Like even though like Melvin Gordon is like injury prone and whatever, like he's not gonna be getting a full load there. So he'll do his thing. Philip Lindsay will do his thing. I think the run offense will be top 10 in the league, no issues. Pass offense. So this is kind of where like I'm projecting a little bit, only because I'm not sure Drew Lock will necessarily take a monumental step or anything, but I think the talent around Drew Lock is really good. Whether you're talking about guys like Cortland Sutton, whether you're talking about guys like Jerry Jeudy, who they got off the draft, I really think he's pro ready and he's ready to like get 1,000 yards like from the start. So I really like Jerry Jeudy. I also like KJ Hamler in this slot. Again, he's one of those pro ready guys. He has the speed, like legit speed, and he has like the shiftiness. I definitely think like he can get decent production like off the gates. And I'm just projecting a little bit here, but not too much to be honest, because if you look at their wide receiving cores, and if you even look at Noah Fant as a tight end, he's super fast. He can get open, and he doesn't have the best hands or the best blocking, but as a passing threat, like he's a very good option. I mean, the weapons around Drew Lock just make it hard for me to like rate them lower than a 6 out of 10 compared to the rest of the league. So I'm projecting a little bit here. I think Drew Lock was for sure like my #1 rated quarterback during the draft too. So I like that there too. And also he's very pro ready too. Like he can move around the pocket, he can throw deep, he can do all these things, and he doesn't like make boneheaded decisions like a lot of people think he does. He has the talent around him, and also he has like the traits to like succeed. Like it just makes sense for me to put them at 6 out of 10 overall, even though I'm projecting a little bit. Pass rush and run defense, I'm not going to explain to you guys too much about this, but I mean they have two of the best like edge rushers in the league in Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and both of them can run defend really well, and Von Miller especially can cover really well as like a off the ball linebacker, pass rusher, whatever you guys like to call him. Their coverage, I would say I really like AJ Boye as like one of their free agent additions, only because like not too long ago he was like elite as a cornerback, and I still think he's elite. I think he wasn't putting his 100% effort last year like with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and for sure like in this big Fangio scheme I think he can do a lot better like as a quarterback. They also got Justin Simmons, who made the All-Pro last year. Shout out to him. And in the defensive line, I forgot to mention that they added Jarrell Casey. He's a former All-Pro player. Like keep that in mind. And at the very least, he'll be elite in the run defense. But you guys can be getting really good interior pass rush from him. And the fact that they have edge rushers and Jarrell Casey as like an interior pass rusher, I think their defense is definitely going to take a step up for sure. And again, like their offense improved. The defense will be more fresh. They'll be coming at you in waves, and they also got a really good cornerbacking group and like a really good secondary. So there's no reason why overall it just makes sense. Like their score indicates to them that they're number 5 in the league, but if they can put all these pieces together, obviously they'll be number 5 in the league. There's a great chance that they might be like more like around the top 10 area, but to be honest, you also have to look at it in this way too. The roster that the Broncos have right now is very similar to the roster that they had when they won the Super Bowl like 4 or 5 years ago. So that alone should make them Super Bowl contenders in my opinion. Number 6, the Buccaneers. And this one was a strange one. And I might be the only one who really likes Brady and thinks that he still has a lot left in him, even at 42. But that's so true. Like this man, like he had one of the worst receiving cores in the league, and I would say they had the 31st worst receiving core in the league, because at least they had Edelman, who has some experience. They had Sanu, who's big and fast, I guess. And then 32 was like the Redskins. The fact that Brady still was like close to 4,000 yards, or I don't know how many yards he got, the fact that he at least made the pass offense like somewhat competent, and then you see the Redskins, who are just ranked below them, they sucked the entire year on pass offense, and at least Brady made the Patriots pass offense like somewhat manageable just off his arm talent and like his release. He has so many great qualities. He doesn't even have to have a great arm, to be honest. He has a lightning quick release. He can take advantage of many matchups this league. And overall, I don't see Brady like slowing down when it comes to throwing deep balls at all. And then you got to factor in the receiving core that the Buccaneers have too. They have guys like Mike Evans, insane receiver. Like he's elite in this league. Then they got Chris Godwin, who's good on the outside and the inside. Like no one knows what to do with Chris Godwin because he's so versatile. He can run all the routes. Like he's basically like a mismatch in my opinion. He's like sub Michael Thomas tier as a receiver. That's really good. They also got Gronk, and he kind of factors into my X Factor score a little bit, only because Gronk like just gets like the most ridiculous plays at the most clutch time possible, and he doesn't even have to play all 16 games. He can still make an impact. The run offense is the worst in the league. I don't think I should really like explain why. Like I'm not a huge believer in Ronald Jones. They don't have any proven running backs, so they're number 2. Like they could be higher maybe, but for now, like this is the off season, and I have to just go off of like who's proven and who's not for the most part. I don't think Ronald Jones like necessarily showed people that he's elite or anything, or even like average. They don't even have anyone behind him to like. I think they might have drafted someone. I might be missing on that, but again, like he's unproven. Like these running backs can be so hit and miss, especially in the middle rounds of the draft. I think they drafted Keyshawn Vaughn. I don't really know much about him, but like I said, like when Kareem Hunt came into the league, like I didn't know much about him either, but he became elite. So maybe Keyshawn Vaughn can become elite. But they're so hit and miss. Like literally, like the Redskins had like Matt Jones. I keep bringing up the Redskins because I'm a huge fan of the Redskins. So please bear with me. But they got Matt Jones in the 3rd round. People were comparing him to like Marshawn Lynch. I'm not even joking. And he didn't even last 2 years with the Redskins. And he was picked in the same round as Kareem Hunt. So that's why they're super hit and miss. For now, I have to go with what's proven. They're number 2 in the league. Pass rush. I mean, this is something that people overlook with the Buccaneers. They assume that the Buccaneers just throw the ball all the time, and they're only good at that. But their front 7 is like very underrated in my opinion. And to be honest, I should have increased their run defense score too. I don't know why I kept it 6 out of 10, but I guess it makes sense a little bit. I really don't think so, but the way I look at the Buccaneers pass rush, they got a really, really good defensive line. Like they got Jason Pierre-Paul, they got Shaq Barrett, they got Vita Vea. I don't think he's necessarily like a pass rushing expert or anything, but he can collapse the pocket. He's like a nose tackle type player. Then they also got Ndamukong Suh, and again, he at this point he just shows flashes. He doesn't necessarily get sacks or anything, but he can definitely get pressure interiorly. So I really like who they have like in the defensive line. The run defense is pretty solid. They got Devin White, and they also got Levante David still, and they're basically like side to side like linebackers. They cover the entire field. They can get the tackles. I guess they don't necessarily have that like strong safety who can just come in and like, you know, like play in the box, have that like extra guy on run support. So that's kind of the reason why I kept it at number 6. And Devin White isn't the best at run defense. He's more of a do-it-all linebacker. Maybe the same thing can be said for Levante David too. But still, like it's very solid. Like at the very least, it can definitely increase as the season goes on. Coverage. Again, like they got a ton of solid players on coverage. They still got Justin Evans, I think, and I think they'll be just fine with it. Again, I'm projecting a little with guys like Carlton Davis and some of their like earlier draft picks like in previous drafts. But again, they're very solid in this aspect of the game. They could be better, but they can't be a whole lot worse either. And the X Factor, I gave them an X Factor here of Brady, only because he's so smart that he can get the offensive lineman in the right position. He's just very like cerebral as a player. Like just having Brady can open up a lot in the run game in general, even with the talent that the Buccaneers have. And then again, like Brady is a guy who excels in the short to intermediate game. He's going to keep defenses on the field, like defenses of opposing teams, and he's going to keep his own defense off the field, make them more fresh and ready to like, like do their thing, because he extends a lot of drives like more than any other quarterbacks in this league. Like if you see Mahomes, like he takes deep shots, he gets like 7 points. He does this quite often, but Brady is like the opposite. He's a guy who just wants to get the 3rd down, like he just wants to get the 1st down basically, and he extends a lot of drives, and this really helps like the entire team overall. So that's why I gave them the X Factor of Brady. Plus he's a great fit in this scheme with Bruce Arians, because Brady likes to throw the ball a lot and Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball a lot. So overall, that's why the Buccaneers are number 30 again, or number 6, and they got a score of 30 obviously. So if you guys disagree or even agree with any of these rankings, please comment below. I'm down to debate. Like literally, I had this Colts fan who wanted to explain to me like why the Colts are better than whatever I ranked them, and we had a nice debate. Like we were commenting back and forth, and even though like we weren't necessarily nice to each other or anything, I like to have debates, and I think that's how we can like pass the time while this whole situation is happening. Like not much is happening around the NFL. So please comment down if you guys have any opinions, if you guys have any feedback on my videos, and again, if you guys want more NFL content, please subscribe to the channel, and I would appreciate if you guys like my video too, but that's on you guys. And I'd say like likes are a great way to like further my channel, and if you guys are willing to support me, I definitely appreciate if you guys like and subscribe to my channel. So that's all I got to say. Peace.